Traditional real estate investing is one of the smartest investments you can make. It's a cash flowing asset. You can write off the depreciation and there's other tax benefits associated with it. There's appreciation on the asset itself, so it's worth more over time. And then finally, there's a big long-term equity payoff in the property 10 to 30 years from now. But if your specific goal is financial freedom, traditional real estate investing unfortunately won't get you there, at least anytime soon. Here's the reality. Traditional real estate investing requires so much capital, and the real equity payoff is in 20 to 30 years from now when the home is actually paid off. Not to mention the monthly cash flow margins are typically very slim, anywhere from $400 to $600. And the whole purpose of being financially free means that you have a surplus of monthly income enough to surpass your W-2 so you can quit your job. $400 to $500 a month means that you might need 20 properties to do so. Now, there are some current methods out there for going the traditional real estate route and scaling quickly. So one of the more popular ones is known as the BRRRR method. This means that you buy, renovate, refinance, rent, and then repeat. So you basically purchase a property in cash, you renovate the property, and then you pull that equity out of the property to purchase your next property. So that way you're just kind of playing with the casino's money, so to speak. This is a great method, but the reality is you still need $100,000+ in capital to get started, unless you're buying an extremely distressed property that's under $100,000. In addition to that, in order to actually scale, you have to leverage that debt constantly and constantly and constantly. Before you know it, you're $2 to $3 million worth of debt at any given time in order to be financially free and get the kind of income that you want. I don't know about you, I couldn't really sleep well at night if I was $2 to $3 million in debt at all times. Of course, in the long term, this is a positive play because you have a tremendous equity gain and net worth gain to be had just from having all these properties, but the reality is you're constantly leveraging your debt and you still need a ton of upfront capital to get started. There are other creative ways to scale with traditional real estate investing as well that require creative financing methods like reaching out to private money lenders or hard money lenders and really just finding creative ways to get the capital. But the reality is you're still taking on tons of debt and there's just no way to scale with real estate and get higher monthly cash flows without constantly putting yourself in more and more debt. So let's be real. I mean, most people just don't have lots of capital. Having the requirements for a $50,000 to $80,000 down payment is just totally unrealistic for most people. They have kids, they have expenses, they have student loans, and just a ton of other expenses that prohibit them from saving that kind of money. Most people don't have good credit either. So if you attempt to get approved for a loan for $500,000 to $600,000, it's, slim chances that that may happen as well. And then the other side of that is most people don't even make enough income to get approved for those kinds of loans. So then it really just becomes a non-starter. And then not to mention, most people don't have experience with contractors or fancy renovations. So this just becomes a whole nother learning experience for everyone and just makes this more cumbersome than it's really needed to be. Don't get me wrong, I still think traditional real estate investing is one of the best places to put your money. But at the end of the day, if your goal is to be financially free, you need to create a surplus of monthly cash flow and not necessarily just build long-term wealth. So here's a great alternative to traditional real estate investing if your goal is to be more financially free, and that's rental arbitrage. The way rental arbitrage works is that you lease a space. So you lease a single family home, a multi-family home, or multiple apartments, and then after you lease the space, you furnish the space. Then after you furnish the space, you list it on short-term rental platforms. So then you operate on short-term rental platforms, and then you take the monthly revenue, you subtract your monthly rent, and then you profit anything that's left over after expenses. It is truly not unlikely to profit anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 a month in cash flow from these units. This also allows for faster scaling because if you want to add on another unit, you simply just sign another lease. And there's a very, very low capital investment because really all you're investing in from a capital standpoint is the furniture. And the best part about that is you can just creatively finance the furniture with business credit cards for 0% interest for about 12 months. That's one of the methods we used, and we scaled from 1 to 10 properties in 4 months very, very quickly. Also, if you think about it, the capital expense of furniture is just tremendously less intense than a down payment on a home. So again, those monthly cash flow margins can be anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 a month. $1,000 to $4,000 a month off of a $10,000 investment. That cash on cash return is just bananas if you compare it to traditional real estate investing. As a matter of fact, I've prepared an example here for you. As a matter of fact, a very conservative example of a traditional real estate investing purchase versus that same exact home in the arbitrage realm. And we can see exactly what the cash on cash return differences are, as well as the monthly cash flows. So let's dive in. So in 2023, the average home price in the US is $410,200. So for this example, let's be even more conservative than that. And let's just say you found a deal off the MLS for $300,000 and it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. So this means that 20% down is a $60,000 down payment. And that's not including closing costs and all that other stuff. But for this example, again, just to be conservative, let's just assume you had a seller's concession, $60,000 is your out-of-pocket capital needed. So if we take a 6.7% interest rate, which is about the average right now, that means you have a monthly payment of $2,090 $2,095.33. That's including taxes and other fees. So $20,90.33 is your monthly mortgage, and let's just conservatively estimate that you're getting about $2,500 in rent on this 3-bed 1-bath. Again, that's a pretty conservative estimate. In some markets, you may only get $2,000. In some markets, you may get $2,800, but let's just say you're getting about $2,500 per month for this 3-bed 1-bath rental in your area. So if we do the math and we take $2,500 in monthly rent and subtract $20,90.33, that leaves you with $409.67 for your monthly cash flow. Now, we could stop right there and say that you would need about 20 properties if your goal was to get close to $10K a month in cash flow in order to quit your job. 20 properties, and that's not even accounting for all of the hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital you would need to get those 20 properties. But let's just take this a step further. So if we want to calculate the cash on cash return from this investment, we'd multiply that $409.67 by 12. So your yearly net is now $4,916.04, and then divide that by the $60,000 investment that you made originally. That gives us a cash on cash return of 8.2%. Now, 8.2% is nothing to write home about. That's still pretty good for a real estate investment, and that's probably on par with the S&P 500, but you just spent $60,000 out of your pocket for an investment just about equivalent to the S&P 500. Again, long-term equity benefits, tax benefits, still tremendous, but let's just see how this exact same house compares in the arbitrage perspective. Okay, so again, we've got a 3-bed 1-bath house. We're going to conservatively estimate you're pulling in $4,400 in monthly average revenue. That's pretty conservative because in most markets, we've seen anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 in monthly revenue, but we're going to say $4,400 is the number that you're hitting each month for revenue. So first, we're going to subtract the rent from that, so $2,500 in this example. Then we'll subtract the cleaning costs, so that would be $600 or so, and then we'll subtract utilities, which would be about $200 or so. Again, we're being pretty conservative, but our monthly cash flow is $1,100 a month. Now, again, we could stop right there. $1,100 in monthly cash flow. You only need about 10 of these properties if your goal is to get to 10K a month and quit your job. But let's continue to take this a step further as well. So let's just say for this 3-bed 1-bath house, you spent $10K in furniture as your investment. So that's your only capital investment. So again, we're going to calculate the cash on cash return from this as well. So we'll take that $1,100 a month, we'll multiply that by 12. That gives us $13,200 as your yearly net. Then we're going to divide our original capital investment of $10,000 for furniture. That gives us an 132% cash on cash ROI. Now, this example is very, very real. And as a matter of fact, I definitely think these are very conservative numbers. You can already see how arbitrage not only has a much higher cash on cash return, but a much higher monthly cash flow. And in reality, most people are really looking for about $5,000 to $10,000 a month in monthly cash flow in order to quit their jobs. And in this example, you only need 5 to 10 of these properties to do so. Now, I get it. It doesn't pose the same benefits as traditional real estate investing, like the tax benefits and the long-term equity and net worth. I get it. But if we took this same exact example, let's say you're 30 years old when you purchase this property, you wouldn't get those equity benefits until you're 60 years old. I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait till I'm 60 years old to live the kind of lifestyle that I want and get the kind of monthly income that I'm looking for. Cash flow is what's needed to be financially free, not necessarily equity. In my opinion, a better model might be doing this for the monthly cash flow, get financially free, and start living the lifestyle that you want. And now that you have this monthly income coming in, use that to buy the properties that you want for the long-term equity. So in summary, traditional real estate investing is great for many, many things, but it's very limited on the monthly cash flow front. And for those who are looking specifically for financial freedom, the reality is you need a surplus of monthly cash flow. Rental arbitrage is a great way to do that. It requires way less capital, and you can scale so much more quickly because all you need to do is sign a new lease and then either purchase furniture out of pocket or finance the furniture using business credit or something similar. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any questions pertaining to rental arbitrage, feel free to get in touch with us either at airpreneur.com or on our social media platforms. We look forward to pumping out more entrepreneurial content, and we hope that we get a subscribe for you on this channel. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.